Okay, so we had another idea that we came across here. I don't think we've given it an actual name just yet. Let's see. Yeah. It's about, it deals with the messiness of there being multiple different devices and platforms that we have to think about all the time. But we're always working on designing what the actual interaction is going to be and what's supposed to happen over here on the other side on this graphic, if you can kind of squint your eyes and see those close enough. So what we're looking at is like, how can we work on our design to make sure that gets deployed to a bunch of devices and understand what's going on. We have a whole kind of wall of progression of stuff over here that we've identified as tools and methods that kind of work and that do what we want them to, and then where some of the gaps are. This kind of sweeps across almost everything we covered in one way or another, so if this could get built out, it would be fantastic. But the idea is that whatever the interaction is that we've designed, if we can create that in a way that it can be hosted and mirrored across a number of the devices over a network, per se, then that design that is out there is then being pulled down in this image here by maybe somebody on a BlackBerry, somebody on another device that we haven't even quite thought of yet or experienced, or maybe on the iPhone. They're all able to look at the core interaction that it is that we've designed and the experience that we're trying to do. And they can interact with it and make a change. And when that happens, we're still here in our environment able to understand what device were they on. Did they click that thing that we had tried to design for, or did they follow through with that experience and gather that kind of data no matter where they are geographically. So we're viewing what's happening at a time across different devices without having to actually really heavily program something. It could be something that we have created and is then being mirrored. Then on the other end, at the very end of this, the piece that would still be missing is, well, what about that personal side of it, the part that you get through the interaction or through the shadowing or understanding what's going on. And depending on how we would cater our study, this might be either the great breakthrough part or the really creepy part for somebody on the other end, which is that they've gone and completed the interaction and then you want to do that kind of follow-up to go and give that some kind of qualitative response. And you can ask and find out, how that experience went or why they did a certain action that they did at a certain time. But overall, the real thing is a piece that probably exists out there in tools on the web in order to be able to screen share, in order to be able to share things across kind of different resolutions of screen, give control back and forth. But on the mobile device, it's a lot harder, but we're looking for that same kind of thing. How can I bring any kind of environment and interaction over, share that over the network with somebody else's phone if that's been agreed on, and then follow up the interaction?
Yeah, if I can add something, the goal really here is to, don't spend time basically coding this interaction or through the different platforms and spending time on that, but just focus on the research question. So this is really meant as a prototyping environment in which, of course, we cannot think about performances or things like that, because it's not going to work for deploying final products. It's just working for simply throwing out simple things, which still require some part of human side of control. So some of the aspects we quickly sketched about the wizard of Oz kind of interaction are still into this flow, because there will be still need for somebody on the other side of the screen just kind of completing the interaction flow of the information into the system. But it's just meant for research purposes, not for final products. And that's it. Yeah, and that idea of sacrifice, we understand that there'll be a way that you're going to be sacrificing something in terms of latency, in terms of the level of fidelity in the design, but it's a way of addressing that big problem. How do you make it deployable? Because the important thing with mobile is let them be mobile, get them outside of the lab or outside of the contrived environment. So some way that we can sacrifice on some other side, but still have it be portable and mobile would be great.
Any questions?
One thing I wasn't clear on was you said something about how maybe the end user could actually, there's some end user programming element to this as a way of discovering the variations that would be required for these different devices. I'm not sure I got my head around that.
Oh, yeah, I don't know, that might be something that I just crossed in how I was communicating it. Because
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't see it as that. We were more saying it's like, however this is actually presented to the end user on the device, it conforms to, their screen resolution and that type
I
of thing.
see.
So they weren't actually going and configuring. The one, it would be more of sort of like the session accept type thing, so it's like, okay, we're now, you're now using this program that's like sort of shared and monitored.